Hello everyone and welcome to episode 42 of the CWA, the Real World Draft Series here on the channel. As for this Stampede, our first Stampede of September, we have quite the main event. We got Kenta taking on Bryan Danielson. Jesus Christ, it's a main event anywhere in the world on the TV. We have a couple of backstage interviews going on, and we have a big announcement from Bret Hart, so that's going to be huge as well. That's going to open up the show. So yeah, without further ado, Jesus, let's run the show. As our pre-show starts, it's two pre-show matches, as the Heroes Made of Stone taking on 3.0, as 3.0 taking the fall here, as a 931 Hero submitting Shane Matthews a Hangman's Clutch. So yeah, Chris Hero, I think, is really coming to his own now that teaming up with Martin Stone. Martin Stone off his game, but he still was better than Scott Parker, who's working through an injury, so that was tough for him, but nice little pre-show match there as Brody King and Noam Dar, as Brody King beat Noam Dar with the All-Seeing Eye in 10:24. So I got a 49. Not bad at all. Our Stampede TV intro, as always. It's Bret Hart announcing from his office that there's a contract clause that comes with Dungeon Wars, where all 9 men can't lay a finger on their opponents before Dungeon Wars happens. So we're not going to be seeing any Bryan Danielson, Naomichi Marufuji, Brody Lee. They're not going to touch anybody from the Dark Order or from Blood Generation. We're not going to see Blood Generation touching anybody from Dark Order and the babyface team of those we just named. And of course, same thing with Dark Order. No touching of Blood Generation, no touching of the babyface team. Basically, I must have ran out of spaces there, as I just had Ferger as instead of the end there, as this is just a great way of really building up the importance of what Dungeon Wars is going to be about. This is supposed to be a war, and it's going to be a war, but it's going to be a war that's taking place on one night. We're not going to have interferences everywhere. We're not going to have these guys brawling over the arena on these stampedes. We're making it more important that you have to, if you want to be a part of Dungeon Wars, you have to commit to knowing that you're going to have to wait a long time. Not really, a month, basically, but still a long time enough to where you have to, once you get you get locked in that cage, that's when you could finally settle the score. That's really the antithesis of what Dungeon Wars is going to be all about. As our first match of the actual TV show, it's Natty taking on Toni Storm, as Natalya beating Toni Storm with a sharpshooter in 8 minutes. As Paige did a distraction, but didn't mean anything, as, obviously Natalya still won. So yeah, Toni Storm had high hopes for her, obviously bringing her in with Paige. Figured Paige would, she does good work at ringside. She is a hell of a hand. Just isn't enough for Toni Storm to really elevate, because the thing with the women's division, we only have that one belt, and you can't really fluctuate throughout, the card. You're just kind of stuck as, I hate to say it, as the women's match, as, obviously with Stampede having an hour of TV, there's only so much time we can do, but at least 8 minutes of wrestling. At least you're not getting like 3-4 minutes like in the fucking Divas era of WWE. But it's not like being a male on the roster where you can have tag team title run. You can have a British Commonwealth title run. You can have the fucking International Openweight, the GWC International Openweight title belt. So you have your options are kind of limited to where you're in that just 8-woman division, I want to say. Chances of staying out are very, very slim. As speaking of that women's division, we have backstage interview with Candice LeRae, as Candice is hyping up her match with Sasha Banks, is wanting that match with Sasha, as Sasha interrupts the promo, interrupts the interview, and says that if you want the boss, you'll get the boss, and you'll wind up like all the others that tried me. As, the boss, she gets what she wants. If she wants to defend that title anywhere, anytime, she obviously has the blessing of Bret Hart to do that. So we're going to have Candice LeRae and Sasha Banks for the CWA Women's title at Dungeon Wars as well. So that should be a fun match. Obviously, Sasha is just kind of in a realm of her own. Really, the only person that's close to her is Trish, where we haven't seen Trish since Sasha beat her. At 76, obviously this match, we've done this before. This was at a Edmonton's Epic Extravaganza show, if I remember correctly. It was Ray Phoenix and Roma. That was for the GWC International Openweight title. Here, it's just a regular singles matchup as Ray Phoenix. First time we've seen Phoenix since losing to Roddy at our fucking Golden Grudge show, We have Ray Phoenix getting a nice win here. Obviously, Phoenix has just been a problem and a half for a lot of people, having a 72 in-ring performance. A tough man to beat. As our backstage interview with the Golden Lovers, the new tag champions, finally gets to speak on how, as champions, how it's going for them. As for Kenny Omega, this is a big deal. We're talking about CW, Canadian Wrestling Alliance. You have, one of Canadian's own, Kenny Omega, who wanted to come here to the CWA because this is about the best tag teams in wrestling we have to offer in the CWA. Got the Young Bucks. You have fucking Team DK. You have Kevin Steen, Sami Zayn. Well, yes, Kevin Steen and Sami Zayn. You have John Morrison, The Miz. So many great tag teams, and Sheamus and Barrett even, is a great team. As teams that have made a mark so far in this, fictional universe, but still in the wrestling world. Why not bring the Golden Lovers to CWA and come back home? This Kenny Omega is really laying in, and being a champion, Kota Ibushi, enjoying his friends and the Young Bucks and many others. It's been a dream come true for him. As he gets attacked, though, at him and Kota Ibushi, as Axis attacks him during their promo. The Young Bucks make the save, though. They run him off. As, helping them, the tag champs back up. There's a bit of a stare moment where it's like, are they going to fight now too? But, obviously nothing happens as we go to our main event. It's Kenta taking on Bryan Danielson. That gets a 71. Yeah, Bryan just carrying Kenta to this match. It's just wild to say, because I think it'd be a lot closer had it not been in Canada, where we have pop as a factor too. Bryan Danielson defeating Kenta in 1738 with a running knee strike in the main event. Now we increased a lot of pop, so at least we got that going for us. Oceania, British regions obviously restricted. Yeah, can't really beat the 76 and the 71 matches on our card. We're trying to make something out of this. As that will do it for that episode of the CWA Stampede TV show. I hope you all enjoyed it. As I think we're now 2 weeks away from the Dungeon Wars show, I believe. Because I think it's usually a 4-week build between each pay-per-view. Usually. Let's just check real quick before we end the episode off. Yep, 2 weeks. So that's awesome. We will catch you guys next time for more CWA Stampede action.